a moment as I ensure everything is set up properly. So be patient with me if you're watching the replay. If you're at home, if you're in a safe place, I encourage everyone watching this to simply take a moment and presence yourself. Close your eyes and just become aware of your breath. Center yourself. It's all too easy to be on social media, to be scrolling, and to be like scattered, even if you're trying to watch a video. So I encourage everyone to get centered before we start this video on how I shifted my identity in one day. Now, before we get into my story of how I went about shifting my identity, I want to start off by just stating the obvious, which is your identity. In other words, your self-concept, how you view yourself, influences the way you perceive and experience reality. And of course, this is going to influence the way you feel throughout your day, throughout your life, and it's going to influence the way you show up and the actions you take or don't take. And the way you show up in the world, the actions you take or don't take, this dictates your destiny. It determines the results you were able to achieve and manifest in your life. So, for example, if you have an identity of, I'm just a lazy person, or if you have an identity of, it's difficult to make money in today's world, or it's hard to be healthy, that of course will shift your behavior. It will shift the way you show up and influence your results that you either achieve or don't achieve. And opposing to that, if you have an identity of, I am a motivated individual, if you have the identity that I can easily attract money, and making money in this world is really, really simple because there's so much to go around, and taking care of my health is something that I love. If you embody that identity, your behaviors shift, your results shift, your bank account reflects that, your body reflects that, your relationships reflects that, your well-being will reflect your identity. And a lot of people understand the importance of like shifting your internal world. However, most people go about it in a way that takes a really long time. Like it takes them years to shift habits or become the person they want to be. And I want to point to you how I did it literally in one day and how you can do it too. And if you're willing to take this all the way and be courageous enough to radically shift your identity today, if you're willing to do that, you can literally overcome and bypass years and decades of conditioning by simply committing to this new identity. And you can do it today. You can do it in one day. It doesn't have to take years and years. So I remember quite vividly the day where I was able to radically shift my identity and become what I now call the 2.0 Drew. Up until that point, I really, really struggled with being socially confident. I really, really struggled with attracting clients in my coaching business. I really, really struggled with consistently eating foods that made me feel good. Even though my body looked aesthetic, I was still eating junk food that just made my stomach feel terrible. And I was having a hard time shifting all of these things. And then I became aware of what I'm going to be guiding you through today. And literally in one day, I became someone new, where shifting the foods I ate, attracting clients, being confident in relationship was now easy for me. It was now easier for me to go down the path of my highest self compared to going down the path of the 1.0 Drew or the lower self. And I suppose that's a huge benefit of learning how to shift your identity. When you shift your identity, it's now easier for you to do the things that are in alignment to your highest interest, as opposed to, well, it's easier to skip the gym, or it's easier to not take the action I know I need to take for my business or for my career, etc. So what I would like to do now is literally walk you through exactly step by step what I did to shift my identity in one day. And if you do this yourself, everything in your life can change drastically. Now, I will warn you, it might take some time for your physical reality to begin to reflect back to you your new empowered identity. But if you stay committed, if you stay consistent to this new feeling state, to this new identity, you will not recognize your life in 30 days. You won't recognize your life in 2 months. Everything's going to be different. So the way the rest or the next portion of this live video is going to go is it's going to kind of be a bit of a masterclass, a workshop. Let's call it a workshop, because if you are truly committed to shifting your identity in one day and not have to wait 5 years to begin changing your life, then you're going to have to get clear with a lot of things. And what I'm going to instruct that you do within this video is to journal and answer quite a few questions that I have for you. This is not a video to fill your mind up with more information. This is a video to help you shift your identity. It's not designed in a way to make you know more information. It's designed in a way to shift your identity, to shift your behavior, to change your life. And as they say, in order to change your life, you have to change your life. So you're going to have to do the work for the next portion of this video. So if you're committed to shifting your identity, go ahead and grab a notebook, or you can use your phone, or you can come back to this later and then do the work and just listen the first time. But if you can, pull out a notebook so you can begin journaling to these questions that I'm going to point you to and walk you through. Okay, so in order for us to shift our identity in one day, we're going to have to get crystal clear on what our current identity and self-concept is. What do I currently believe to be true about myself, about achieving my goals, about the world around me that has created my current experience of this 3D world? Okay. And then once we've laid the foundation, right, then we will begin the process of forming a new identity. A big mistake many people make, and this really hinders their ability to shift quickly, is they try to just kind of put a new mask on top of a current mask, or they try to make a change without really understanding where they are currently at internally. And as you really begin to reflect and be radically honest with yourself with where you currently are at, I really want to encourage, and this is a lot easier said than done. However, it's paramount that you do this. You're radically honest with yourself as you identify your current identity, okay? And you're radically compassionate with yourself as you identify your current identity. Like, be real, okay? Now, before we get into the work, if anything that I share with you in this video resonates, it would mean the world to me for you to share this video. You can share it on Facebook, on YouTube, comment down, let me know your thoughts. Now, the reason I ask that you share this is because really that's the only way this video is going to get out, is through word of mouth. I'm not doing any paid ads. I'm simply sharing a powerful message in hopes that it will spread as long as it resonates and aligns with the right people. So, laying the foundation, step one is to become aware of your current identity. In order to shift your identity in one day, we have to identify, what is your current identity? I like to articulate it as, who is the 1.0 version of you? So the specific questions I'd like for you to dive into. Question number one, what are your current beliefs about yourself? Question number two, what are your current beliefs about your goals? What do you believe about your vision of the future? Do you think it's easy to achieve your goals? Do you think it's hard? Do you think in order for you to achieve your goals and make money, that means other people can't? Do you think that if you follow your passion, that means you're destined to be broke? And the only way to really make money in this world is to do something you don't love. Question number three, it's probably best to rewatch this and then spend time, pause the video, and answer the questions that I'm sharing with you. Question number three, I'm not sure if I said this already, but what are your current beliefs about the world around you? What do you believe about the world? Do you believe the world is going to hell? Or going down a bad path? Okay. Question number four. Again, this is in order to shift your identity in one day. It doesn't happen just by saying, okay, I want to do it. It requires laying the foundation, becoming aware of who you are right now. Question number four, what habits do you have that you want to let go of? This next question that I have for you can be very tricky for a lot of people to wrap their head around. So I will do my best to explain what I mean by this question and why it's so important for you to get clear on. And the answer, and this goes for every question I'm about to ask you and have already asked you, the answer, I don't know, is not going to cut it. That is lazy thinking. Sometimes it's natural, normal to have your first response to a question to be, I don't know, but go a little bit deeper. Come on, you do know. The answer is in there somewhere. And if you are truly passionate about becoming the greatest version of yourself, the healthiest, the wealthiest, the most confident version of yourself, if you are truly passionate about this, you will no longer tolerate the answer, I don't know. And you will be willing to just kind of dig a bit deeper. The next question, laying the foundation, getting clear with where you're at, right? The next question, how do your current limitations serve you? Perhaps you're struggling with being able to change your health, or perhaps you're struggling with consistently generating money with your dream business. Okay. Ask yourself, how does struggling to make money with your dream business, with my dream business, how does that serve me? What type of benefit am I receiving from being broke? What type of benefit am I receiving from having a difficult relationship with my partner or not being able to change my diet? We have to realize that the only reason we tolerate limitations or certain negative behaviors is because they benefit us in some aspect. Perhaps they simply just make us feel comfortable. They allow us to not really step outside of our comfort zone, or they allow us to kind of just wear masks and not be seen or judged by other people. How do your current limitations serve you? How does struggling to pay the bills serve you? How does being overweight serve you? How does not being confident in social interactions, how do these things serve you? Go deep. Simply doing this in and of itself is going to relieve so much tension and open up just a floodgate of inspiration and drive and passion that will make it so much easier to actually form the new identity, which we'll get into in a moment. Now, if you'd like for me to send you a written form of all of these questions I'm walking you through, just simply comment down below, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, comment down below the word questions, and I will send you all of these questions that I'm reading off right now. Moving on, still laying down the foundation. This is the last question before we begin forming the new identity. Question, I forget what number this is. Why is now the time to commit to changing your identity once and for all? Why is today the day that you want to radically change your life and become the greatest version of yourself? Why is today the day? Why don't you wait till tomorrow? Why don't you put it off until Monday? Knowing there's no right or wrong, really, there's not. But be honest with yourself. Why is today the day? And perhaps your truth right now is today's not the day. Actually, Drew, I need to kind of sit with whatever I'm dealing with right now. And that's okay. That's brilliant. That's beautiful. That's perfect. But you might be in a position where today is the day. And it's important to point out that when you shift your identity in one day, which is what we are going to be doing today, we can't rest on our laurels, as they say. We can't shift our identity one day and be like, okay, I'm good for the rest of my life. No, it's not really how it works. It's a commitment every single day, every single hour, to abide by this new chosen identity. Every day we make that commitment. Every day we embody and we become this new identity. We don't do it today and then just allow ourselves to rest on our laurels for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden life is hard again, and then we try to do this again. No. What I'm going to encourage you to do is every day you make the commitment to be the greatest version of yourself. Okay. I'm going to now walk us through how we can make that commitment, how we can form this new identity today. We don't have to wait 12 months to begin attracting the things we want in our life, whether that's certain aesthetics or business success and attracting clients or anything else for that matter. So that was the laying the foundation piece to shifting your identity in one day. And this is exactly what I did. Took me a while to conjure up all of these insights and these questions, but there was one day where I just made it my number one priority. I am going to shift today. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And there's so much value in being in that low place. It's not low, but it can sometimes feel that way. So forming the new identity. It's best to start with identifying the goals. Okay, we'll get into the actual identity piece in a moment, but what are the goals you want to achieve in the next 12 months? Journal to that question. Write down 5 to 15 things and pull from the categories health, wealth, love and relationships, and just epic adventure. What do you want to achieve in the next 12 months? If you were guaranteed massive success, what would you pursue? If a genie was to give you 3 wishes and answer those wishes, what would you ask for? So again, the first question on the part of building the house, right? We've laid the foundation. Now it's time to build the house. What goals do you want to achieve in the next 12 months? In other words, what's the blueprint of the house, right? We got to start there. Question number 2, and this is where we start to gain clarity with this new chosen identity. And something I will point out is don't allow yourself to be jaded here. Perhaps you've gone through years and decades of trying to change and just struggling and struggling and struggling. And here I am saying, actually, you can bypass all of that conditioning and you can actually really, really radically change in one day. You hear me say that, you're like, yeah, no, I've tried that in the past. Don't allow that to influence. Just for a moment, give yourself the permission of having no past. You've never failed. You've never succeeded. Nothing's happened. You are born again right now. Can you give yourself that beautiful gift of presence? Next question. Who would you have to become to effortlessly achieve the goals that you just wrote about? Who would you have to become to effortlessly achieve these goals? What is this new identity like? What is the identity of the person who has already achieved your goals? What are their beliefs about themselves? What are their beliefs about their goals? This is where you just notice the inspiration. Oh, well, he or she thinks about their goals like this. Well, it's effortless for me to achieve my goals. Or you can even make something up so that life is really, really actually fun. Choose your delusion wisely. It's all illusion. Choose your delusion wisely. What are your beliefs about the world around you? This one's huge. So many people struggle with making progress towards their goals because they're walking around with this belief that people are bad people and that there's so much bad in the world. And they think that because they're watching the media and that's all they talk about, right? But if you turn off the TV, if you open your eyes and you go walk around this beautiful world, you're going to see that people are actually really, really awesome. Really, really awesome. And they're just looking to be loved and connected, just like all of us. Okay. So what we need to do now in order to shift our identity in one day to radically change everything in one day. What we need to do now is align our current frequency, or in other words, we have to align our current emotional state with the emotional state of the version of you who has already achieved your goals. This is where we shift your identity. It's one thing to identify, for lack of a better word, right? Let's use a different word to not to confuse the word identity. It's one thing to become aware of who you need to be. It's an entirely different thing to align your feeling state, your frequency with that individual. Now, when you do this, and I'll show you how to do it in a moment. When you do this, you become this super magnet for your dream life. When you begin to vibrate and feel the way you associate yourself feeling when you have the money, when you have the confidence, when you have the business, and you have the lifestyle, you have the body, when you begin to feel that way now, everything just floods into your life very quickly in jaw-dropping ways. And many of you know this already, but how many of you are actually 100% committed to abiding and living in that feeling state? Very few are. So I've created a guided meditation that is specifically designed to tap you in to the feeling state of your wish fulfilled. And this is how you shift your identity. I don't want to walk us through that meditation now because it's about, I think it's like 10, 15 minutes long. And I don't want to do that right now because I've already recorded this. I've shared this with hundreds, probably thousands of people by this point. In this meditation, I want to give it to you for free, like no strings attached. Just comment down below the word meditation, whether it's, if you're watching on YouTube, actually you can find it in the description down below. If you're watching on Facebook, just comment down below the word meditation. Now we'll send you the meditation that will help you occupy the state of your wish fulfilled and literally change your identity now. Now, the reason I didn't offer this in the very beginning is because we had to lay down that framework. We had to become aware of who the 1.0 of us is. What is our current identity? What's your current self-concept? We have to identify that, to become aware of that. And then we have to become aware of the 2.0 you, the new identity, the version of you who truly loves their life. You can actually love your life. You can actually wake up feeling excited and empowered. You can actually look out into the world and think, oh my goodness, this world is amazing. You can actually be confident. You can actually be just full of life force and health. You can actually shift your habits now, today, regardless of how jaded you might feel. This is possible for you. And if you want to feel that now, just comment down below the word meditation. I will send you a free guided meditation that will dramatically shift your identity. And once I became aware of this meditation, first I guided myself through it. And I actually teach my clients how they can do that themselves. And it's a bit more powerful that way. But once I became aware of this and I learned, oh my goodness, I can guide myself and do self-hypnosis, as many people call it, and shift my identity quickly. And one day, in this very moment, I became obsessive with mastering this. And I would take myself through this mental visualization imagination technique 5+ times a day to really ingrain this. But it started with one day. And then I wasn't going to rest on my laurels. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to continue to activate this to turn the 2.0 Drew, the healthiest, wealthiest Drew, to make him louder. Not for other people, but for myself, right? Because it makes my life just so much more enjoyable. And the paradox there, of course, is that it actually, the byproduct of me just loving my life is actually helps me serve other people. Okay. I encourage everyone to rewatch this. If you haven't taken the time to answer the questions that I just walked you through, rewatch it, answer the questions. If you want the questions written out, just write down the word questions and I will send you all of the questions. And again, the purpose of answering these questions is to become aware of your current identity, to become aware of the chosen identity. Who must you become to achieve your goals? And then the meditation you can access is to fully embody that new identity today. You have to really want this new identity more than you want to be consistent with maintaining your current limitations. And not everyone's there, and that's okay. That's beautiful. That's brilliant. But if you are there, here's an open door for you, my beautiful friend. Let me take a couple more breaths to see if there's anything else that I want to add. And I guess before I do that, if you've enjoyed this video, please share it with the world. Just click that share button, copy the link, send it to your friends. This meditation is meant to be listened to every day because, again, we don't rest on our laurels. Every day we are born again. We commit every single day to being this 2.0 us. And at some point, it becomes so ingrained that showing up confidently, attracting so much money into your life every single month, it just becomes, that becomes the new condition. But by that point, you're going to have bigger goals. So you'll use this meditation to tap into that. Another thing here that I want to point to before we wrap this up is be patient with yourself as your world begins to mold itself according to this new frequency that you radiate. As you tap into this new identity and you shift into it today, when you open your eyes after you've become the 2.0 you, you've become the confident you, you become the wealthy, healthy you, right? You open your eyes and your body looks the same in the mirror, right? You open your eyes, you look at your bank account, that looks the same. Your relationship's currently the same. Don't allow that to fool you. Do not be tricked by the outside world, because the outside world is simply reflecting your internal world. And there's a delay period between when you put your hand up in the mirror and when the mirror reflects that hand back to you. There's a delay period. You become this new identity, and then some time passes, and this new identity will be reflected back to you within your bank account, within your relationships, within the mirror, in your body, and you'll be jacked and healthy. But if jack's not a goal for you, you'll be healthy, you'll be radiant, you'll be just feeling your absolute best. A couple other things that I have read here. Be courageous and relentless on your pursuit of creating your dream life. People struggle because they are timid. They're afraid to succeed. They're afraid to fail, whatever it is, right? They're afraid of being judged. Oh my goodness. What if I try this and it doesn't go the way that I want? Wow, life's going to be terrible. None of that is true. What if you contemplate, wow, this life is really short. It's gone by really fast up until this point, if I'm being honest with myself. And why not just give it everything that I have? Why not just show up as my absolute best every single day and be courageous as I pursue my dreams instead of just following the conditioned social order. Yikes. One of the easiest ways to stay consistent with your new chosen identity and maintain it rather than feeling really empowered today after this call and then tomorrow everything's different. One of the easiest ways to ensure that this new identity stays consistent, it stays persistent, it stays loud, and it influences your life drastically so, is to surround yourself with like-minded people, which is exactly why I've created my free community, the Spiritual Gym. There's a Facebook group. And if you want to join this, we have like 1,600 people who are all aligned to becoming their best selves every single day, getting better in every single way. If you want to be a part of that community, again, it's free. Just comment down below the word community and I will send you an invite. If you're on YouTube, you can find that in the description down below. This is a really powerful video and it's really practical in that if you take these steps all the way, your life will literally never be the same. More confidence, better health, more money. All of these things are yours. Nobody's going to give them to you, though. You have to give them to yourself. If you've enjoyed this video, let me know down below, comment your thoughts. Please share this video, click that share button, post it on social media, text it to your friends. Join the community so you can get some exclusive content that I only share inside of that community, and so that you can surround yourself with like-minded individuals and connect really deeply with amazing humans. If you want the identity creation meditation, just comment down below the word meditation. I'll send it to you immediately. Today is the day everything changes. Take this all the way. Shift your identity and all problems literally disappear, because within this new identity, those problems do not exist. When you take this all the way, you can drastically change your life in a very short period. You don't have to wait for years and years. And you don't have to be special to be able to do this. You don't have to be a superhuman. You just have to be human. Human beings are capable of incredible things. They can shift now. They can spontaneously heal, spontaneously attract certain things into their life. That's what we are all capable of. In order to achieve that and have that reflected back to us, we have to shift our identity. We have to believe that it's possible. How do we believe it's possible? We decide it's possible. We tap into the feeling state of it being possible. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, for participating, for caring about your life. I see you. I honor you. I love you unconditionally. So thank you. Peace.